Hi, fellow travelers. My name is Jalia, and welcome to Journeys by Jalia. In today's episode, I am going to be discussing health tips that I use as a working flight attendant and as someone who has been working as a flight attendant for more than 2 years for a major U.S. airline. Tip number one is hydration. And by the way, if you see me look down, that is because I'm looking at my notes for this episode. So, tip number one, hydration. Hydration is a priority when traveling. It is very important to keep your body hydrated as you're moving through the airport and once you're in the airplane. So, I suggest once you pass security and you're in the terminal to carry a water around with you, or if you like coconut water, that. Or if you don't like water and you prefer juice, then making sure that you get juices with anti-inflammatory properties, because that will do you justice once you're in the air. So those juices that have beets in them, ginger, turmeric, lemon, cayenne pepper, all that good stuff. Make sure you are getting those juices because that will help reduce swelling once you're in flight, and also it will make sure that your body stays hydrated throughout your traveling journey for however long that may be. Hydration is key to avoiding exhaustion, fatigue, and sometimes low blood pressure and high blood pressure. Hydration is so important when you're traveling, and that is why it's tip number one, because that's where it all starts, making sure the body is functioning at its best so we can get to the places where we need to go. Tip number two goes hand in hand with tip number one. Tip number two is choosing healthier food options. Now, I'm not saying you can't treat yourself to something that you've been wanting in the airport, whether that's a pastry or a coffee. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself. But after you treat yourself, make sure that you are choosing foods that your body will thank you for, that your body truly needs to function, that your body will actually appreciate. So if you like sweet things, then I would say maybe an acai bowl. If you don't really care for sweet things, then maybe a salad. And if you're not in the mood for a meal, then perhaps a high protein snack. Just something that will help your body in making sure that it's able to keep up with the busyness of the day and able to keep up with just how much you're going to exert it once you are in the airport and in the airplane and so on and so forth. Tip number three, wear comfortable shoes and clothes. Wearing comfortable shoes is so important because you're going to be walking a lot. You're going to be walking a lot. And even though there's ramps and there's elevators and escalators, there's sometimes breaks between gates that you really just have to walk all that way. And then there may be a situation in where the SkyTrain, if you're in an airport where there's a SkyTrain, what if that doesn't work? You have to walk all the way from one terminal to the next. So wearing comfortable shoes will really save you here, and wearing comfortable clothes as well will really save you here, because it would allow you to not feel that added pressure on your feet and not feeling so restricted in your clothing that walking from gate to gate, whether your gate changes or not, it doesn't really affect you too much. But also, keep in mind, you want to be comfortable, but you also want to make sure that you are taking care of your appearance, because you never know who you're going to run into at the airport. That's something my mom says to me all the time. You never know who you're going to run into at the airport. So make sure you look good and you look respectful, and also you're comfortable. So just balancing all three of those things. And I have ran into a lot of people at the airport, from friends from high school, friends from college, to different celebrities and just people that I respect who work in the industry that I am pursuing. I see everybody at the airport. So just want to make sure you're looking good at the same time as being comfortable. Tip number 4, move around, stretch, walk. The time you spend at the gate before boarding begins is a good opportunity to move around and stretch. Yes. The time that you're waiting, maybe you get to your gate 2 hours before your gate actually starts boarding, that's a good opportunity to just move around. You don't have to go far. Just walk a bit, just stretch a bit, stretch your legs, get some movement in there. Because once you're on that plane, depending on how long that flight is, you're pretty much sitting down the entire time. And there's not much space to move about, to walk about, to stretch about on the airplane. So while you're at the gate, there's nothing to do, then that's a good opportunity to just move a little bit, stretch a little bit. There's some people who walk all around the terminal. If you feel so called to do so, so inclined to do so, then by all means do that. But I would suggest walking just because it reduces swelling once you're on the airplane. And also it gets that tightness and tension out of your body. So stretching and walking a bit is very helpful. Tip number 5, be mindful of travel headaches. So this is something that I experienced recently, which caused me to do a little bit of research on my own to figure out, why do I have a headache in the air, but when I land, I don't have the headache anymore. And then I found out it's a real thing, and it's called a travel headache. So my suggestion for this is to bring your appropriate medications. So if you take medication, then making sure that you have that with you as you travel and you're giving your body what it needs at the time that it needs it. Also staying hydrated, also eating right. Those two things will work wonders for your body, especially once you're in the air. Also, avoiding hairstyles or hair accessories that may put pressure on your head. So that could be caps, that could be hats, that could be headbands, anything that would actually like just squeeze your head. You want to make sure that when you're in the air and once you feel that travel headache come upon, you just take that right off. Take it right off because you don't want it to intensify or get worse. Tip number 6. We're moving along. Tip number 6. This is a asterisk to women specifically. Be mindful that period cramps intensify in the air. You heard me correctly. Period cramps intensify in the air. I had to experience this myself, just like the travel headache, because I'm thinking, my cramps don't feel that bad. But in the air, whew, it's like, what is going on? So, yes, that's a thing. Period cramps do intensify in the air. I believe it's due to just the air pressure on the plane and then just added things of being uncomfortable, being constrained in your seats, and it's a lot going on the airplane. So just once again, make sure that you are bringing your appropriate medications. If you don't take medications, maybe you just need a magnesium pill. And if you don't want to take a magnesium pill, then maybe just eating a banana and drinking some green tea, drinking some herbal tea will make you feel better, then by all means do that. Do what you know your body needs to relax and just be calm. Tip number 7, carry cleansing wipes. Carry Lysol, Clorox, any cleansing wipe that you have access to. Bring that with you as you travel. There are germs everywhere, and it's just when you're around so many people, it's kind of, you can't really just isolate yourself from what other people have going on. So you may be feeling good and healthy, but someone may have a cold that they're getting over, and you may think that you're fine, but I tell you what, you're not. So carry those cleansing wipes with you. You want to wipe down those tray tables, those armrests, those seats. I do this sometimes. I don't do it all the time, but depends on the situation. If I'm feeling like, no, I need to wipe this down, then I will do so. I gotta protect myself. So yeah, that's tip number 7. So tip number 8, treat everyone with respect and kindness. This goes for everybody. This isn't just for passengers. This isn't just for employees. This is for everyone that is involved in making the operation possible. We all have a part to play when it comes to traveling and being in and out of the airport. So let's make it easy on each other and just make sure that we're treating each other with the utmost respect and kindness, because that's really what makes the travel experience so much more fulfilling, is when everyone's just bringing their best to it. Now, traveling can be a stressful time for some people. It may be a challenging time for some people, and I'm not dismissing that. I am aware that some people are first-time travelers. Some people are travelers for work, and we don't know what's going on in other people's lives. So at the very least, we can treat each other with the same kind of respect and value that we would like to receive. And I believe that that would create just a much better flow when it comes to airport travel and just the travel industry in general. It's just making sure that we have that common agreement of understanding, and making sure that we just reciprocate that same kind of treatment that we would like to receive. And that concludes this episode of Journeys by Jalia.